A man who reveals his desires too quickly is a man already disarmed. In the eyes of a true strategist, you are no longer a threat the moment your hunger becomes visible. This is a truth Machiavelli understood centuries ago. The more clearly you expose your ambitions, the easier you are to control. People don't attack a mystery, they attack a weakness.
Hey guys, we're Strategy, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
Once they see what you crave, they know precisely how to bait you, delay you, distract you, or destroy you. Expressed desire becomes a weapon used against you, but desire, when hidden, becomes a weapon for you. This is the cold ambition strategy, not to kill your desires, but to cloak them in stillness, to conceal them in indifference, to bury them in shadows. In a world where everyone is loudly chasing something, the man who appears to chase nothing while secretly building everything is the one no one sees coming, and that's the man who wins. A predictable man is a controllable man. Tell someone you want power, and they will compete or block you. Tell a woman you want her, and she will test you, withhold, and manipulate. Tell the world you want status, and they will dangle it in front of you like a dog waiting for a treat. This isn't paranoia. This is a pattern. Desire breeds exposure, and exposure breeds attack. The men who are used, ghosted, and pushed aside are always the ones who showed their hand too soon. They say, "I just really like you. This job means everything to me." They think they're being honest, but they are leaking their strategy. They've just handed over the blueprint to their downfall. The fool expresses desire and calls it honesty. The strategist cloaks desire and calls it power. You've been told that expressing your desires is courageous, even inspiring. But Machiavelli would call this suicidal. The world doesn't reward those who want. It rewards those who look like they don't need anything. Because the man who doesn't need can walk away. He cannot be bribed. He will not beg. He can't be threatened. He never loses negotiation power. Think of the difference between a man who walks into a room desperate for approval versus a man who walks in like he's already won a prize no one can see. Who do people chase? Who gets talked about, copied, hated, and envied? The man who wants nothing but gets everything. His silence makes others project. His stillness makes others paranoid. His calm ambition makes him dangerous. Every time you tell the world what matters to you, you hand them the exact script for your downfall. Express desire for love, and they will test your need for it. Express desire for power, and they will slow your rise. Express desire for revenge, and they will bot you into emotional traps. Express desire for attention, and they will give it to you, then snatch it away once you're addicted. This is why the cold ambition strategy is so deadly. You're not denying your desires, you're just never displaying them. You act with cold precision. You move with quiet certainty. You build behind black walls and let others wonder what the construction sounds mean. The more questions they have about you, the more control you hold. The moment you answer those questions with emotion, with confession, with explanation, you collapse. You become a map. And people love to destroy maps. Most men are trapped in cages they built with their own mouths. They told friends about their goals, and now they're boxed in by expectations. They told their boss they'd do anything for the job, and now they're exploited. They told her, "You're all I think about," and now she's bored. Machiavelli wrote, "It is not essential that a prince should have all the good qualities. but it is essential that he appear to have them. The same applies here. It is not essential that a man has no desires. It is essential that he appears indifferent to them, because then his every move becomes unpredictable, and unpredictability is the ultimate weapon. When people can't figure you out, they hesitate, overthink, and assume. In that chaos, you move unbothered, untouchable in your rhythm. That's the quiet power of cold ambition. The man who constantly talks about his plans and his emotions thinks he's connecting. He's not. He's exposing himself to people who may not value him, and worse, he starts needing their validation. This is the emotional slavery Machiavelli warned against. Instead, say less, plan more. Smile when they ask, but never answer fully. Let your moves appear casual, not desperate. If you must speak of desire, speak of it as if you've already walked away from it. Because now they don't see a man in pursuit. They see a man who could have everything, but chooses with caution. And nothing is more attractive, more terrifying, more psychologically invasive than the man who doesn't chase. You don't need to be without desire. You just need to be surgical with your expression. Even Machiavelli wrote with ambition, but he encoded it in strategy, never in raw confession. Your desires should exist like fire behind glass, burning, focused, dangerous, but never uncontrolled. The man who feels more than he reveals will always dominate the man who reveals more than he feels. That's the Machiavellian paradox. You can have everything, but only if you look like you need nothing. The second they see you want it, you've already lost it. Desire isn't weakness, but exposed desire is. The world isn't neutral. It doesn't say, he wants this, let's help him get it. It says, he wants this, let's see what he'll give up for it. In that moment, you stop being a player and become a pawn. You become movable. Machiavelli warned rulers never to place themselves in the hands of others. Once someone knows what you want, they don't need to defeat you directly. They just need to make you chase. Most people aren't crushed by enemies. They're puppeteered by invisible strings of their own exposed desire. The second you vocalize your craving, be it power, sex, revenge, or validation, you give the world a lever. And what happens when the wrong hands grab that lever? They start pulling. A woman teases you because she knows you're hooked. A boss delays a promotion because he knows you're scared to walk. A fake friend keeps you around because he knows you crave belonging. In every case, you gave them control. You exposed your hunger. The cold ambition strategy reverses this entirely. Instead of chasing, you become the chase. Instead of expressing, you suggest. Instead of revealing, you distort. People see movement, but not motive. They sense force, but not direction. And that disorientation makes you immune to manipulation. Society tells you to be honest, speak your truth, be vulnerable. But Machiavelli would ask, to whom and for what purpose? Most men who speak their truth are just publicly broadcasting their weaknesses. They think it makes them real, but in Machiavellian terms, it makes them readable. The moment you say, all I want is to succeed, you're showing people how to control you. The cold ambition strategy says, never give them the blueprint to your inner world. Let them guess. Let them assume. Because when no one knows what you want, no one knows how to stop you. And even better, no one knows how to use you. People admire the man who rises without appearing desperate for it. Desire expressed looks like thirst. Desire hidden looks like destiny. The Machiavellian doesn't say, I'm working so hard. He lets the results speak quietly. He lets others wonder, how is he doing this without ever seeming to try? This triggers something far more powerful than admiration, envy. Because envy is directed not at the man who works hard, but at the man who moves without visible effort. When you make power look casual, you create psychological gravity. People orbit you. They adjust to you. They obsess over how you're winning when they never even saw you start. There is nothing more dangerous than a man with a goal who doesn't look like he needs to reach it. That's cold ambition. It's the man who loses something and doesn't flinch, gets rejected and doesn't break his rhythm, misses an opportunity and simply replaces it. While others complain, he recalibrates. That silence, that poise. It terrifies people because it means you cannot be moved by outcomes. It means you're operating from strategy, not emotion. That's when people stop treating you like someone with ambition and start treating you like someone with a plan. Machiavelli knew this. Cold men rise higher, not because they feel less, but because they show less. When you express too much, you become a slave to feedback. They laugh at your vision, and now you're doubting yourself. They question your ambition, and now you're defending it. You think you're being brave, but you're putting your ambition up for public auction, letting everyone bid on it, question it, twist it. The Machiavellian holds his vision in silence. He acts, he executes, he builds. And by the time they realize what he was working toward, it's already done. No friction, no resistance, no exposure. That's the real power move. When you reveal nothing, people are forced to assume everything. And that is your advantage. Let them think you're not interested. Let them think you're drifting. Let them think you don't care. While they make assumptions, you make moves. Let their misreading of you become your shield. Let their underestimation become your invisibility cloak. This is chess. They're playing checkers. And they don't even realize you're already 10 moves ahead. Desire expressed becomes a performance. Desire suppressed becomes a strategy. Machiavelli understood the value of detachment, not because he lacked feeling, but because he refused to be guided by it. The modern world wants you loud, impulsive, and open, so it can track your movements and sell your dreams back to you. The cold ambition strategy destroys that system. When they can't see your desire, they can't copy it. They can't block it. They can only fear what you're silently becoming. And that fear, that's the sound of control shifting. Not to the loudest man in the room, but to the quiet one who stopped speaking and started building in the dark. When a man speaks of desire, the world listens not with admiration, but with calculation. They don't think, how noble. They think, how can this be used? The moment desire leaves your lips, it stops being yours. It becomes a target. It becomes a lever. And in that moment, you are no longer the architect of your ambition. You are the hostage of it. Machiavelli knew this with clinical precision. He warned rulers to never reveal their true intentions. Not because it's dishonest, but because it's dangerous. People don't fear your ambition. They fear what they don't understand about it. When your motives are hidden, your movements are feared. When your motives are revealed, your movements are watched. And once they're watching, they're planning and countering. Your rise is no longer clean. It's contested. The man who loudly states what he wants becomes the center of every scheme. You say, I need this job, and instantly you're vulnerable. The employer knows you'll tolerate underpayment. You say, she's the one I want. And she knows you will chase, and chasing is the death of masculine mystery. You became visible, and visibility without leverage invites attack. The Machiavellian knows hunger is for private moments. You can want deeply, but you never signal starvation. You move like your plate is already full. In power games, the one who looks like he needs nothing gets everything handed to him. The modern world is built to reward emotional expression, but emotional expression is a luxury for those not playing for power. Most men talk endlessly about their dreams, believing it will solidify them, but in reality, it dilutes them. Every time you speak of what you desire, you give people the language to undermine it. You open yourself to mockery disguised as support. You invite resistance. This is why the cold ambition strategy is built on one principle. Don't declare. Execute. The cold man doesn't update anyone. He doesn't post every win. He doesn't explain why he's distant. He simply moves quietly, aggressively, methodically, and when the outcome arrives, it speaks for him while the rest are still talking. The reason mystery is feared is not because it hides something bad. It's because it forces others to imagine something powerful. When you say what you want, people categorize you. Oh, he wants that. He's just like everyone else. But when you say nothing, they guess, they assume, they obsess. And in their guessing, they give you power. Their minds become your stage. Their overthinking becomes your camouflage. What people can't define, they can't dismiss. When you stay neutral while everyone else is begging, you change the rules of the game. Instead of chasing the reward, you become the reward. Now they ask, why doesn't he try harder? Why doesn't he need us? That's when desire flips. Now they want you. And once they desire you, they will rationalize your power. Your indifference makes you rare. You must become surgical with your speech. Before you say, I want to be promoted, pause and ask, will saying this increase my leverage or reduce it? Once you reveal that you're waiting, hoping, longing, you are now exposed. You're playing their game. But if you can pause, remain cold, and let your actions speak, you don't just keep control, you amplify it. What's not said is harder to counter. What's not revealed is harder to sabotage. What's kept hidden haunts. Look at the most powerful people. They don't explain why they're busy. They don't justify their absences. They move with the assumption that they don't owe the world anything. That's power. The moment you stop explaining, people start interpreting. They create stories around you. They may love you, they may hate you, but they never dismiss you. Because mystery keeps you on their minds. This isn't about being a stone. It's about being a fortress. You can want deeply, but all of that must stay inside. Because the man who contains desire controls it, and the man who controls it becomes unstoppable. Let your actions whisper. Let your presence suggest. Let your silence provoke. In a world screaming for attention, the cold, quiet, focused man becomes a myth. A myth can never be used, trapped, or conquered, only feared, only followed. Desire makes you human, but expressed desire makes you vulnerable. Once the world knows what you want, it knows how to control you. Power belongs not to those who chase it, but to those who move like they already own it. You may still want the job, the woman, the money, but the moment you show it, the game shifts. You are no longer shaping events, you are waiting for them. That's the essence of the cold ambition strategy. To want quietly, to build without words, to rise without announcement, and to let the world feel your heat without ever seeing the fire. If they know what you love, they know what you fear to lose. And if they know what you fear to lose, they own your leash. You tell her, I can't live without you. Now she knows she can wound you by leaving. You tell your boss, I'll do anything for this promotion. Now he knows he can overwork you and still keep you compliant. Even well-meaning friends do this without realizing. Not because they hate you, but because exposed ambition activates comparison in their minds. And comparison breeds resistance. They start to pull you back, not because you're wrong, but because you revealed too much. This is why Machiavelli advised that leaders must keep their intentions hidden from everyone, because people betray not out of evil, but out of weakness, and your vulnerability is the pressure point their insecurity will eventually find.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the original books and resources we used today. We'll see you in the next one.